The ACU men's basketball team picked up 2 home victories last week and will split this week with 1 game on the road against SFA and 1 at home with Central Arkansas. We'll recap their successful homestand and preview this week's games. I'm your host, Max Preston. It's the Joe Golding Show right now. Welcome to the Joe Golding Show from the JMC Network studios on the campus of Abilene Christian University. I'm Max Preston alongside head men's basketball coach Joe Golding. So Coach, about a week ago you come off of a 3-game road trip and then you come back this last week and you play 2 games at home and you get 2 wins in front of a true moody crowd as students come back from break. How did it feel to just settle in at home for 2 games and then improve to 5-1 in Southland?
Yeah, it felt great to be back at home, you and I talked about it on the last show, just the excitement of getting the students back on campus, the energy that's back on campus, and showing up on Monday and seeing the parking lot packed and all the cars. It was like, all right, here we go, man, school's back. And so, and to walk in our game, we've had great crowds, I thought, over Christmas with some guys in the city of Abilene, but to have the students back, they just bring a different energy and a different atmosphere to the arena. So protecting home court's important, and we were able to do that both times. We've now, I guess, has 3 wins at home, and I think if you're going to make any run in this league and compete at all, you have to protect home floor and then be able to go on the road and steal some. So it was important for us to get both of them, and very appreciative to the crowd and to the students for coming out and supporting.
Yeah, absolutely. So I talked to you a little bit about this after the Northwestern State game. Moving forward, you get teams you haven't seen yet, SFA, Central Arkansas, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. How do you just stay calm and prevent any surprises and just move forward and keep playing well?
Yeah, I think the big thing with that, Max, is just trusting the process and just trying to get better each day, And so, today in practice we're going to try to be better than we were the other day. In the next game we're going to try to play better in the next game. I really challenged our team Thursday after the Houston Baptist game, and I said, I think all across the country in the next 2 or 3 weeks, teams are either going to get better, they're going to stay the same, or they're going to get worse. The grind is set in now. You're 2021. Games in, and almost everybody has played a lot of games, and so we've got to get better. And I think to do that, you got to get better in practice, and you can't just get better in games, if that makes sense. And then I think there comes a point in time, mid to late February, where you probably are who you are, and that's when you want to be playing your best basketball. So really challenged our guys on that, and I thought against Northwestern State on Saturday, that was one of the better games we've played in a while.
Well, we will preview SFA and Central Arkansas later in the show, but when we come back, we'll recap a home sweep over Houston Baptist and Northwestern State. Don't go anywhere. It's the Joe Golding Show. Welcome back to the Joe Golding Show. This week, the Wildcats were at home for 2 matchups in which they won 75-68 over Houston Baptist Wednesday and 78-69 over Northwestern State Saturday. Coach, let's dive right in against HBU Wednesday. There were several times it looked like your team could jump out to a huge lead, but the Huskies kept coming back. And in fact, in the second half, they were up by 1 2 times in the second half. But, your team stayed calm, stayed poised, and really, to me, a game changer was B.J. Maxwell hitting that 3-pointer. You go up by 6 with 1:33 left in the game. I remember the crowd was rising
really
up
loud
at that point. So just talk about the magnitude of that play and how your team was just able to stay calm that entire game.
Yeah, in a lot of places that probably wouldn't be a good shot. You got a shot clock, full shot clock, and you're up 4 at that time. But I think that's kind of how we've been all year. We've, BJ's a shooter. Rick's is the same way. We say when they're open, shoot the basketball. And we gotten on him honestly on the previous game of turning that shot down and made a pass to Jelani on the very first possession of the game. So it was kind of very similar, and he hit it, And so it's one of those, when it goes in, it's great. If it doesn't, you're like, But credit BJ for hitting a big shot, and he's hit big shots for us all year. I think HBU is really good. They beat Wake Forest. They're very good offensively. They have multiple guys that can score it. The big kid's really good and improved. And so we kind of figured it was going to be a back-and-forth game, and it would come down to a game that could get the most stops, the team that could get the most stops down the stretch. We're comfortable, Max, in the last 4 minutes in close games. A lot of our games this year have been that way, but we have a bunch of juniors and seniors. We've had freshmen that have stepped up and got experience in those situations, and I think our team just has a calmness to them when it's like that, and we were able to go on a 14-5 run to finish the game, and that's not the first time we've done that. So I think our team understands the importance and the magnitude of the last 4 minutes and championship plays and doing the little things in those periods. And I think we did it. I think BJ's three was huge, but I also think you go back when we were down 2, we missed a shot, and Jaron Lewis goes and gets the offensive rebound and gets the tip in to tie the game, which again is a championship play of going to the glass and refusing not to get boxed out. And I think that turned the tide of the game as well. And so a big win for us, and then obviously propelled us into Saturday.
Definitely. So another key factor in that game, though, you get Jelani Friday back after a suspension. He scores 21 points in the game. You could say it'd be nice to have his presence back in that game, right?
Yeah, and we went to him, a little bit. You could tell the first half he was winded. I think getting back just into game condition. He's worked really hard with Coach Decker when he was suspended, of staying in shape. But there's a big difference between running with Coach Decker and doing drills, and then game type, just when your adrenaline starts pumping. But I thought the second half he settled in really well, and I think we also learned to play with him again. We had played 3 games without him, and we kind of played a little differently without him. And then when we get him back, it was kind of trying to get settled into him. But I thought he did a really good job. He didn't try to force things. Obviously, he gives us an inside presence and can also stretch the floor, with a 3-point. So it was good to have him back.
Absolutely. So now against Saturday against Northwestern State, you jumped out to a 10-point lead pretty quick. Then at one point you're up 20, and Northwestern State, they cut that lead to 10 in the second half. But like you said after the game, it's kind of hard in college basketball to keep a huge lead, and you guys haven't been in a situation like that too much this year. So after this game, you were telling me it's kind of hard to keep that lead. But what's your mindset during a game where you're pretty much controlling it the whole way?
Yeah, I thought we got off to a great start, and we've been struggling with that a little bit here of late. But I thought our start was great. I thought we were really good on the defensive side of the ball. We forced some turnovers, got some easy looks, and I thought our offense moved much better. I thought our movement was better. Our spacing was really good. I thought we had an energy to us on that side of the floor. And so I was really impressed with the start. And then, we give up the big 3 at half. We switched and went zone there late in that last possession. The ball seemed like it bounced 10 times. I think hit the rim in every spot and then goes in. So that was kind of a gut punch. Instead of being up 16, we're only up 13 at half. But then I thought we came back in, got the game settled. We won the first 4 minutes of the second half. We stretched the lead to 20. Made some substitutions, went to some depth. And it's just hard. You and I talked after the game. I think, number one, we hadn't been in that situation a ton this year. But number two, you just relax when you get up, and credit, Coach Mike at Northwestern State. His kids play hard, and we knew they were going to play hard for 40 minutes. And he does a really, really good job. They're tough kids. They were going to continue to play at a high level. And in the game of college basketball today, Max, with the shot clock, they sped us up. We took some quick shots. We missed. They go in and hit shots, and all of a sudden now a 22-point lead. It's a 13-point lead. And now all of a sudden you're like, oh, my gosh. And a 13 really feels like a 3 because you've let it go. And then at one point it got down to the 9, and you feel like you just let this huge lead go when really you're still in good shape. So you just got to calm your guys down. You got to continue to go back and take care of the basketball, get back to guarding, getting stops, checking and rebounding, not letting them speed us up as much. We thought we could get a good shot later in the possession and using some clock, and we did that, and we were able to stretch the lead back up.
Yeah, so, even though it's a pretty comfortable game, it's still a special game. You see your team just spread the ball so well, and then also Jelani Friday, he gets 1,000 points for his career. He goes over that, in fact. So what's it like to just see your team, play so well, spread the ball, and then also see your big man get the 1,000 points?
Yeah, I was really proud of us. We've done that all year. We've been pretty consistent. We did not do it New Orleans here and at Sam Houston, and then the Pepperdine the first half. When we take care of the basketball, we're a pretty good team, offensively, and so that also helps us, set our defense where we don't get beat in transition. So we've done that coming out of the Sam game. So I was really impressed with that and how we're sharing the basketball. Jelani getting to 1,000 points was an incredible accomplishment for him. We now have 3 of those guys with Jay, Frank, Jaron, and Jelani. But I think Jelani would be the first guy to tell you none of the things he needs somebody to pass him the ball on almost every point he's made. He hasn't dribbled the ball off the floor and just gone and made a layup. So I think he'd be the first to credit his teammates and give them a big part of that, because without his teammates passing him the basketball, setting screens for him, and doing things, he wouldn't get to 1,000 points. And that's just the kind of teammate Jelani is.
Well, Coach, congrats on the wins and good luck this week. When we come back, we will preview both games against SFA and Central Arkansas next. Stay right here. It's the Joe Golding Show. It's been an impressive year for Peyton Ricks behind the three-point line, and he was also named Southland Conference Player of the Week last week. With Ricks, here's Marlo Davis.
You guys are doing incredible. You're 16-3. You have no losses at home. What is the biggest impact for your success this year?
I think our leadership. We're more mature this year. we're a closer group than last year, and I think that's because the locker room that we have now has been together for about 3 years now. And the freshmen adapted very quickly, and we're very welcoming to them, and so they felt comfortable when they came in. And so I think the biggest thing is unity and leadership this year.
That's awesome. And you personally, you have really just progressed this year. You're a very hard worker, we hear from your teammates. Last week you were named Southland Conference Player of the Week. That's awesome, congratulations. And you actually have hit quite a few last-minute winning threes against McNeese and Louisiana. How was that success for you?
Yeah, that was a fun experience. Those were big-time plays, and
yeah.
I think the training over the years has stepped up, and definitely confidence in myself.
And the biggest difference between last year and this year for you is what? What changed?
I think confidence, definitely. I'm no longer playing for my own self-validation. I play to glorify the Lord, so I very simplified my life, and so it's no longer worrying about what other people think about me on the court. As long as I'm playing for the glory of God, I think everything will come into play.
And you were baptized this summer. That's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about your spiritual journey and where you are with that?
Yeah, so last year I wasn't saved yet. About April is when I was saved. I started going to FCA, and a man by the name of Christian Dillard, he used to mentor me, and he preached the gospel to me, and the Lord saved me. He changed my heart, and I gave my life to him in April. And so then I got baptized. I was baptized as a baby. I was Catholic, but then I wanted to rededicate my life to Christ in June. So it was
awesome.
Very thankful. Very
yes.
thankful.
And you're originally from Kansas. You're pretty far from home.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how you got to ACU, to Texas? What's your journey like?
So my mom, she went to school with Coach Tanner and in high school, and so they were Facebook friends, and in high school she would post about my success and accomplishments, and so he one day just took a chance and came up to watch a game, and he had never seen me play. He just came to watch a game, and so he came up there, and after the game he told me he was going to start recruiting me, and Coach Golding offered me that summer, and that was the only offer besides Coppin State that I had. But I came here on my visit, and I was sold already. I was ready to come here, and so I know it's far from home, but I struggled a little bit freshman year just because I was homesick, but now I've adapted, and I love the people here, so I love it.
Good. Okay, last question. Of all the boys on the team, who's the biggest class clown, always pulling a joke? Who is it?
My roommate, Trey Lennox. He's probably one of the funniest guys I've ever met.
And why is that? What is...
And if you didn't know him, you would think he's a really shy guy, and he is. But when he opens up, he's probably the funniest dude I know, and he's always got a positive attitude. He's always goofy. He's always making us laugh. So I think if you ask anybody on the team, they say Trey Lennox.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for coming in today, and good luck with the season.
Thank you.
We're back on the Joe Golding Show. This week, the men's basketball team will be on the road Wednesday to face Southland preseason number 1 SFA, and will come back home Saturday to host Central Arkansas. Coach, to me, it looks like SFA really hasn't lived up to being the favorite in the conference so far. They're 2-3 in Southland play. But, I mean, are they just an up-and-down team? Because they've beat Baylor, but they've lost the teams that you've already beat. Are they up and down, and how do you take care of them Wednesday?
Yeah, first thing I think you just mentioned, they beat Baylor, and the Baylor just beat Texas Tech, and Texas Tech took us out to the woodshed pretty good, you know? So I think that tells you all you need to know about their talent level and what they are. They've had a ton of adversity this year. They've had a ton of injuries that started in the summer. Losing Holyfield, they lost both of their point guards. I think they've had other injuries as the year's gone on. They get some guys back. They lose some other guys. You know, I really think this is one of Coach Keller's best coaching jobs he's done, you know, trying to piece this whole thing together. They went for a stretch of period where they didn't have necessarily a point guard. You know, Bogues is obviously one of the best guards in our league, if not the best. He's definitely in the conversation. Harris is the same way. You know, those two guards can play anywhere in the country, and they've proved that in the NCAA tournament last year against Texas Tech. They have a bunch of players back from that team that went to the NCAA tournament and played really well against Tech. I think, I think Nacogdoches and SFA is the best home court advantage in our league. I don't think there's any secret in that. Their students get involved. Their town gets involved. It's the hardest place to go play. It gets really, really loud in there. Yes. And I'm sure they're going to be ready and prepared for us. There's no question. So they have all the pieces in place. They're the champ. They're going to be the champ until March, until somebody knocks them out in Katy. And until that point, they're still Stephen F. Austin. So we have a ton of respect for their coaching staff. I have a ton of respect for their players and their staff. We have a ton of respect for their program. I don't think we've played them within 20 20 points anytime we've been there to their place in the 5 years that we've been in the Southland Conference. So it's going to be tough. I told our guys that this will be the toughest thing we do all year. We've got to be locked in. We've got to be ready to go. But I do think if we go down there and we take care of the basketball, we're able to rebound the basketball, and we play the way that we're capable of playing, then we'll give ourselves a chance to be in the game the last 4 minutes, and that's all you can do on the road.
Absolutely. So then you come back home, you play Central Arkansas. You know, that's probably going to be a tough game too. They're on a 3-game win streak, and they're looking for 4 Wednesday against New Orleans. They've got 4 guys that have averaged 10 points or more per game this year. How do you take care of the Bears Saturday?
You know, we don't talk ahead, Max, on games. This is your TV show, man. I'm going to talk ahead just for you on Central Arkansas.
Okay.
But you know, I think Russ has done a great job. They lose Jordan Howard last year, and everybody thought they were just going to drop off the in league play, and man, they haven't. You know, they've won a lot of games, like you said, 3 in a row. They got New Orleans before us, I think, on Wednesday, and so you know what sticks in my head, honestly, on them is last year them beating us here on the tip in, and it cost us a trip to Katy, you know, and so you know, hopefully our guys will be motivated on that, and we can get them locked in on that. You definitely got to protect home floor, but I haven't seen a ton of them on tape, but credit Russ to what he's done. They got a bunch of guys back from that team. They just don't have Jordan, you know, and so those guys are obviously probably playing a different way. They're sharing the basketball. There's more people involved, more scorers involved, and they've always been a really, really good offensive team in our league, and they've won a lot of games.
Well, thank you, Coach, and good luck this week.
Thanks, man.
Again, the Wildcats will be on the road against SFA Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. and back home Saturday to face Central Arkansas at 3:30 p.m. Both games will air on ESPN Plus as well as 98.1 FM. For Joe Golding, I'm Max Preston. Thanks for watching the show, and we'll see you next week.